uh. Coming together in love we rise, building community online. Sharing our hearts feels mighty fine, making each day better, one song at a time. Coming together in love we rise, clap, clap, building community online, clap, clap. Sharing our hearts feels mighty fine, making each day better, each day better, each day better, one song at a time. I see Arlene and Sherry. They know the words. I love it. Great day, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever we happen to be in the world. Happy journey to us all. I am Arnaé. I'm your host for this Tuesday edition of Daily Antidote of Song that is lovingly and consistently for how many days? How many days? Every single day, consistently brought to you by those good-looking people over at Carpe Diem Arts. Give them a hand. Give them a hand. All right. Today is June 21st. Man, it is zooming. I finally got that word right. And we are busting out all over with messages of peace, social justice, community, and the changing seasons. Today we're celebrating with a very special guest. It's her first time in the room, so be on your best behavior because we want her to come back. She's going to elevate, engage, entertain us, and we'll get to her right after we say greetings to our Facebook Live family. Okay, y'all know the drill. To the left, up top, to the right, on the bottom. Again, left, up top, to the right, on the bottom. And then just give a whole round the world to everybody. Everybody in the room today. I love it. I love it. And I always like to start with hellos to the wonderful JoJo Rossi, the creator of the series. Busy Graham, Diane, Aaron, Anna, Katie, and our Zoom guru for the day, who is Jaden. Let's give her a hand. Thank her for the wonderful job she is doing. All right, let's get started with the crewmers in the shroom. The shroomers, the people in the room. How about that? And say, so glad to see JoJo Rossi. Hey, so glad to see Nicole Singer. So glad to see Jaden on tech. Karen in Iowa City. And Annette Perone, good morning to you. And Baba James Harkless. Everybody, bow down, bow down, bow down. Arlene in Berkeley. And Sherry in New Hampshire with the drum. Sheila in Florida. And Ruth in Birmingham, UK. Put them pinkies up. Jim in Underhill. Kathleen in Albuquerque. Brian McLaughlin. I see the top of your head. Dennis and Judy Cook. Susan in Seattle. Nancy with the moo cow. And there's Bob in Tucson, Arizona. And Gloria with the friend in Minnesota. My girl Bonnie in Boise. And Pauline in Newcastle. Good morning. Jim in New York City. And Kevin in DC. Hello to you. Steve and Michelle in Silver Spring. Hoda in British Columbia. And Susan G. It's always good to see you. Dennis in Victoria. Dennis Donnelly is here, everybody. Gary with all the solutions. And Luda with the love in Victoria, BC. I can't wait to see you. Cliff in Vermont. And there's storming up the room. And Deli and Ralph in Victoria. Victoria's in the house. Kate in Charlottesville. Amanda and Miles in Michigan. Jamie in Victoria. Jane in Texas. I see one curly top, two curly tops. Shake it like you got it. Shake it, shake it. Oh, I love it. There's Ann in the room, and Jay Carr is here, and Caroline in D.C. Hey, and there's Mabel with one of those dancing bears, and stop moving. And there's Susan Schreiber in I think that might be Tacoma Park. Aloysius is coming in from somewhere in the world. Jean is in Pittsburgh. Alan H is here. Isabel is here. Jane is here. Jenny in Suffolk is here. Amos is here. Fred in Silver Spring is here. Lisa in Vancouver is here. LMG is here. Loriana and all her fans are here. So glad to see you. Oh, it's the 21st. I think it's Solstice Day. So glad to see you on this beautiful day. All right. If there are any new people in the room, please feel free to identify yourself in the chat with your first name, the city and the country that you're tuning in from, and how you found Daily Antidote of Song. And so, Tara, if you're out there, good morning to you. Okay, like I said, our guest is brand new to the room. She is a teacher, she's an artist, she's a musician, she's an organizer, and she's an author. She sings sea songs. So, Dennis, this is good for you. Sea songs and chanties, work songs, ballads, blues, and lots of other things, occasionally accompanying herself on guitar or rhythm bones. She's performed at folk festivals, aboard tall ships. I need to know more about that. At music camps, colleges, house concerts, and participatory singing events from Baltimore to Boston and many places in between. And she's got impeccable aim, y'all. She's a champion archer. We're going to get into that. We're welcoming her from Pioneer Valley in East Hampton, Massachusetts. Everybody put your hands up and together and warmly welcome Nicole Singer. Nicole, good day.
Good morning. Good
Good
evening.
morning. Good
Good midday.
morning.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. Thank you so much for having me on this fabulous solstice day. Um,
Fabulous Mrs. Day. It's good to have you here. Okay, tell us about the song that you have chosen to sing on this fabulous solstice day.
this song is a light-filled song, actually, so perhaps it's daily appropriate too. The song I'm bringing today is Let the Lower Lights Be Burning, which many people might know as Brightly Beams Our Father's Mercy, and it's known by a couple other titles in various hymn books. It's a song that is also very maritime. I learned it from a recording of Four Bitter, which is a quartet of folks who sang at Mystic Seaport Museum, but one of them learned it from the hymnal at their place of worship in Connecticut. Um, I myself am Jewish and mostly culturally Jewish and a fairly irreverent person, but I very much find faith-filled songs to be very meaningful. And this is a song that spoke to me throughout the pandemic as one that's about sort of spreading light to one another even when we're isolated and far away and getting each other through storms. Sometimes it's really hard to reach out to people. Sometimes we're scared to, and sometimes we don't think that other people need reaching out to. And this is the song that reminds us to do that. Um, uh, since I'm not a terribly faith-filled person myself, and because I wanted to sing it in wider context with folks who are also not so religious themselves, the version I sing is just slightly more secular, and I'll put the lyrics in the chat. But it very much retains the meaning of the original, and many of you I'm sure will recognize it. The
Fantastic. Okay, so what is our part? What can we sing?
Your part is the chorus, but of course, if you pick up the tune or if you know the tune, like just go ahead and sing along with me on all the things, like go nuts. Um, but the part I'll teach right now is the chorus, and then we'll go from there. Full disclosure, I'm a I'm a COVID long hauler, and so I'm going to be coughing a little bit through this, and my voice is not as awesome as it otherwise would have been. Um, but you know, in C music especially, vocal quality is not as important as enthusiasm, so we're going to go for it, and it's going to be great.
I love it. Okay, we're ready. What's our part?
All right, the chorus. I'll sing it. Maybe I'll sing the whole chorus, and then we'll go line by line.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, mm, Let the lower lights be burning, send a gleam across the wave. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor you may rescue, you may save. So it's those four lines. The first line is let the lower lights be burning. Let the lower lights be burning. Send a gleam across the wave. Send a gleam across the wave. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor. You may rescue, you may save. You may rescue, you may save. Let's do the whole thing. Let the lower lights be burning. Send a gleam across the wave. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor. You may rescue, you may save.
I love it, Nicole. Thank you for that. And make sure people know there's a retard between the you may rescue,
Yes.
you may save. That's how we used to sing it in my church. Okay, we've got it. Take it away.
All right, great. I'll start on the verses, but I think all the lyrics went into the chat. Yeah. So yeah, if you know the tune and feel like it, please feel free to join me on all the things. Yeah. Brightly shines the hope of harbors, where our journey shall be o'er. But for now, we have the keeping of the lights along the shore. Let the lower lights be burning. Send a gleam across the wave. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor. You may rescue, you may save. Dark the night has come and settled. Loud the angry billows roar. Eager eyes are watching, longing for the lights along the shore. Let the lower lights be burning. Send a gleam across the wave. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor. You may rescue, you may save. Trim your glowing lamps, my dear ones. Some sweet sailor, tempest tossed, trying now to reach the harbor, in the darkness may be lost. Let the lower lights be burning. Send a gleam across the wave. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor. You may rescue, you may save. Stand your watches now, my shipmates. Rise and turn the glass once more. Soon will come the day whose dawning greets the lights along the shore. Let the lower lights be burning. Send a gleam across the wave. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor. You may rescue, you may save. Chorus once more. Let the lower lights be burning. Send a gleam across the wave. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor. You may rescue, you may save.
Oh, Nicole.
Excuse me.
Wow. Wow. Take a sip. Take a sip. Oh, wow. That's the perfect song for this day.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for bringing that forward. I have not sung that since I was a wee little one in church, and our words were just a tiny different. Um, there's what was it? There's a lonesome, there's a lonesome, struggling member. There's a lonesome, struggling member you may rescue, you may save.
Yeah.
So that's how it went. Wow. So tell us why. So you told us why you chose the song. I'm curious about these maritime songs that you have such a great interest in. Where did that come from?
Yeah, so this one, like I said, I learned it from this quartet, but it's also in this fabulous book that is an account of someone's life at sea. Frederick Pease Harlow wrote a book called The Making of a Sailor, or Sea Life Aboard a Yankee Square Rigger, and that I think was published in 1928. But in the book, he talks about having landed and heard this song with a shipmate. They were sort of walking around on their shore break, and Frederick Pease Harlow was walking around with his shipmate Joe, and they heard this song coming from inside the Seaman's Bethel while on shore leave, and they heard this song and they were like, "Wow, that's gorgeous! Well, what is this?" Um, and in the book he writes out the chorus in there too in his account of it, and and his friend says to him, "Hang on, Fred, I can't go in there. This is a Protestant institution and I'm a Catholic." And then the chorus breaks out fresh and let the lower lights be burning. But then he says, "Well, wait a minute. Those are sailor lyrics. Fine. The priest won't know it. Let's you take the lead and I'll follow. That's clearly that song is for us." Um, and they also talk about meeting, excuse me, meeting a woman there who sits next to them. Her name is Miss Hopkins, and she's described as a swell-looking girl with a good, strong voice. And I identify with her a bit. I like to think I'm swell-looking, but she kind of shares her songbook with them and helps them find the hymns and points out the pages and what the notes are and sort of helps them along. And they say, no one could help singing under such conditions, and the evening passed altogether too quickly. And with this song, it's very much about helping one another through the night. And Miss Hopkins helped them through the song, and that's something that I really love to do in song sessions. And it's something that like we all really need to do kind of in the world for each other. So that story from Harlow. That also sort of resonated with the meaning of the song in my mind.
Sure.
Um, yeah.
Sure. And you wrote an extended paper on this, correct?
Yeah. I published an article on it for the CDSS News. They have like a column on song stuff, and so I wrote about this, and it talks about sort of origins of the song and where I heard it from, and a bit sort of more extended thoughts on it. It was first published in 1871. And it was written by Philip Paul Bliss, who's a composer and music teacher. But like I said earlier, it can be found in lots and lots of other places too.
Yes.
But yeah, that I have in my little section of links. That article is there. Um,
That's fantastic, fantastic. Okay, Nicole, singing aboard tall ships. What is that all about?
okay, so tall ships are traditionally rigged sailing vessels. So what you might picture as a pirate ship, right? Kind of like that, but perhaps a different arrangement of spars and masts and sails and everything. The boat that I spent the most time on was the Mystic Whaler, which is now it now has a different name because she actually just moved over to California. Um, but Mystic Whaler was out of New London when I sailed with her, and I did onboard education there through Clearwater and did a lot of singing with the Clearwater program there. I was one of their onboard educators because Mystic Whaler and Clearwater sail alongside each other doing environmental education. And when we take the kids on board, we study the fish and talk about sailing, and we sing a lot, including the work songs to help get stuff done. And so we teach kids sea shanties to raise the sails. And it's sort of a short job on a schooner like the Mystic Whaler, but it's really fun, and I love singing those songs with kids especially, but I love singing them with grown-ups too.
Oh, I love it. What are the ages of the kids?
In that program, we were mostly teaching like fourth grade, so like around 10 years oldish, but we took school groups out, from lots of different places and lots of different ages. And then once in a while, we would sing also with passengers during the summer season. The Mystic Whaler would take people out for lobster dinner cruises and 3-day sails to Block Island and fun stuff like that. And so we would often sing there too. We would have guest singers aboard, sometimes including David Littlefield, who is the one who brought this song to Forbidder, whose recording I learned it from. And so I had the great pleasure of sailing and singing with him some too.
That's incredible. So are you playing rhythm bones when you're out there on
Um,
the
Not so
Sing it.
much, only because my hands are occupied.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But you are a teacher by profession.
Yeah. In my other life, I'm an elementary school art teacher, um, and it's a blast. It's really hard and it's really fun. Yeah, I teach at my current school. I teach kindergarten through sixth grade at a public school in
Oh,
Amherst, Mass.
wow.
And I teach all kinds of materials. And once in a while, I will do a cameo appearance with the music teacher when she teaches a sea shanty unit with the fourth and fifth grades, which is really fun. um, and then I'm actually changing schools this year. I'm about to switch to a school where I'll be teaching second through eighth grade. So I'm excited about that too.
Wow.
And
That
um,
is exciting. And then real quickly, I've got to ask you about the archery. What's going on with that?
yeah, so I'm not quite a champion of anything.
I'm
But
calling you a champion. I'm calling you one.
fine, fine. I'll take it. Yeah, so my other teaching license is an archery instructor license, because once upon a time when I was at summer camp, of course it always comes back to summer camp. The camp where I learned that I wanted to be an art teacher is called Bucks Rock, and it's an arts camp for teenagers in Connecticut. And they needed someone to do archery, which I had always loved as a kid and been really good at. And so they said, "Hey, Nicole, you're teaching ceramics here, but could you also a few mornings a week teach archery?" And they helped me through the training program, and then I taught archery and ceramics.
You are a champion. You are a champion.
And I briefly took archery classes in Brooklyn when I grew up in Manhattan, and I briefly took classes there too. But yeah, mostly summer camp. Nothing more drastic than summer camp. But yeah.
Wow, wow, that's fascinating. Okay, I've got to wrap it up. Is there any things that we can support you with? Any upcoming events that your new fans? You got a new house of fans.
Yay!
How can we support your music going forward?
Sure. So there's a bunch of links that I think could go in the chat if they haven't been already. But I have a solo record out. I also have a new duo record with my music partner Becky Wright. Her background's in shape note music, and so where we meet between shape note and C music, we wind up with a lot of stuff that is faith filled and with really intense harmonies. So if you like that kind of stuff, you could check out our new duo record. I'm also teaching at Harmony of Song and Dance Week at Pinewoods this summer. I'm actually teaching a song organizers intensive for people who run singing groups or singing events. So if you want to geek out with me about that, I could talk about that forever. Come talk with me there. The Box Hunters are also there, like a whole bunch of other folks who you've probably seen and heard on here are also teaching there. And I'm also teaching at Lady of the Lakes Dance Some More Camp, which is in August. So you can come join me at those things too.
Oh, wow. Lots and lots of good stuff. Nicole, welcome home. That's all I'll say. Welcome home, and we want you to come back again and again and again. Can we get a reprise of that chorus again, please?
For sure. Um, I don't know if I'm in the same key as I was before. Do we care? We don't probably care. All
We
right.
don't care, just wherever you are.
Let the lower lights be burning. Send a gleam across the wave. There's a lonesome, struggling sailor. You may rescue, you may save.
Oh, wow. Thank you for taking me back. It's a good part of my life. Thank you so much for sharing your time, your incredible talents, your memories, and your beautiful heart and spirit, Nicole. We
Thank
want
you.
you to come back again. We're so very grateful. Everybody, Nicole Singer.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been such fun, and you're a joy to talk with and sing with, and
I'm
have
going to call you from
amazing
now
life.
on. I'm going to call you Nicole, comma, Singer. That's how.
Fine. Yep. It is my real last name. I promise. Can't make
I,
that stuff up.
I know. Thank you for being here. Everybody, give her a hand. Nicole Singer.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks for singing with me.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Let me come back to Earth. All right. Announcements. Today, it's the 21st, which means this is the monthly community sing, and it's happening live today in downtown Tacoma Park at the gazebo. 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. is the picnic. How fun. And then from 6:30 to 8 p.m. is the music. So for those who are living in the Tacoma Park DMV area, come out to the monthly sing that's happening. I think that's the only other announcement for right now. Before we say our final goodbyes, let me again extend an invitation to any new people in the room. Let us know who you are. We want to be able to welcome you. Just give us your name, where you are coming from, your city or your country, and how you found Daily Antidote of Song on day 807, I think it is. And someday, one of these days, the creator, Jojo Rossi, will give you a very special welcome. And there's a cocktail party that's coming up too. So, y'all keep coming back so you can get more information about that. All right, let's say goodbye to our Facebook Live family. See y'all.